Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming, the Grand Arena Focus podcast centered around the top 100 of Kyber 1 for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I am joined by the full cast this week. We've got Dagger calling in from overseas. How you doing this evening, Dagger?
Not too great tonight. Hopefully better tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Here in the live, unlike some people.
All right. Tell us real quick, how was your week?
Shit.
Give us the 10-second blurb.
I want to say I went 2-1. Did a bunch of just dumb shit because A, I'm an idiot, and B, I kind of wanted to see how some stuff worked.
Sure, fair enough. How about you, TJ? Good to have you with us. How was your week?
I got the rare 3-0. I think I understood the assignment for week 1. And I know we're going to talk into it, but yeah, felt like a couple of things, and I'll bring it back up. But it was a good week, man.
And I'm glad to hear that. Sasha Aisha, how are things for you up in the drafty attic?
Lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet. I watched. I'm glad to hear you sounding better than you did.
That was a bad day.
You did your 6 stream, and then I watched some Fatal stuff. But I mean, I was a spectator. That's it. So I had 3 Erodiums.
Terrible. Sorry to hear that, man. All right, Fatal, how about you? How was your week? What's the word?
A week ago on this podcast, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm coming back to top 8. I'm joining y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And then 24 hours later, I saw how many new Erodiums popped in and saw Sasha get stranded in was 7. And I said, I think I'm okay. So, 1 and 2, I'm now at rank 60, properly buffered.
Instead of throwing the life preserver, Fatal waved at me and turned the boat towards the shore and headed off. So appreciated, bud.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's like Dunkirk, but there's no hope at the end. It's just
Fatal's the guy that like gets in the boat and he paddles like 70% of the way across the lake and then turns around.
There. Well,
is it cold? It looks cold.
So yeah, you got yourself lined up for an easier week 2, I suppose.
Go
ahead.
I set out to do some science, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this.
Oh, I can't wait to hear. Well,
even as I was planning to climb this season, I started off this season saying, to the first man who posts Stranger against me, I will be donating 20 to 30 banners. That offer is still outstanding. Nobody is fucking posting this goddamn team. I am trying to be charitable, and people are so goddamn scared.
It's so weird.
I just want to lose, man. Just let me lose in my own way, man.
Fair.
It'll be all right. You got plenty of counters. Just post the goddamn team.
Very fair. Well, for my part here, I had an Erodium for round 1. I had Mad Mage Nira in round 2, and that was the, as Sasha mentioned, the 6th stream. So, yeah, I was not feeling... I honestly wrestled with it up until the last couple of minutes before I decided, you know what, I'll at least record. I didn't even know if I even felt like doing that. Like, I felt terrible. But I still at least recorded it. I think I dropped Lord Vader versus Stranger. I walked into that eyes clear, like I thought I was well prepared for it. Turns out it's really not a fight that you defend your way through. It's something that you need to stack offense or armor penetration and just try and crush your way through if you're doing Lord Vader. So the real takeaway is I'd rather just not do Lord Vader to that. And that was, anyway, I'm kind of wandering off course there. That was an interesting couple of lessons I picked up from that. And then I did have Herbert here in round 3. Gotta say, it's rare enough to get the win here because he's a very efficient player. But what I'll be looking forward to talking about is I had an incredible defensive performance, really standout, especially for somebody that saves the kind of material that Herbert does. Anyways, guys, let's get right into it. Got a ton to talk about. Straight into the meta-analysis. First up, using Django on offense. Versus Satil. Wait a minute. Did I say that? I meant Stranger.
Stranger.
Yeah, I meant Stranger. I should have said something else. Yeah, I took a bad note. All right, Django versus Stranger was cool. I want to say what? Did I do it in round 2 as well? Let's see. So yeah, that's where I did Lord Vader. Okay. Round 3. Yeah, then I did Django, and I did take Forlom Zuckus. Look forward to hearing what you guys may have heard or tried in terms of these last 2 being different. But yeah, I targeted Starkiller and with Django, and then he went away. And then I got Lumi, and then I got Cal, and then I want to say Stranger after that, then finally Maul. It didn't feel like I was in any kind of danger at any point. The amount of turns that you get is just insane. So, what do you have to say about using Django on offense, first of all, guys?
Well, just really quick, parsing through the data that I did. Cal makes the fight last about another 30 to 35 seconds, which usually strips about 2 to 3 more banners. If Beast is there, there's just no impediment whatsoever. And Grief seemed worse in most matchups that you were using Django in, so I think I would just default to Forlom and Zuckus pretty much across the board after looking at it versus Hondo and a couple other things.
Wonder, because
this matchup versus Stranger just feels like it's going to be like a 58 to 61, and you're going to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was thinking about Grief. Like the Forlom damage was cool, so I don't know which one of the 2 I'd want to drop, but I was thinking about the relative value of Grief, just trying to spring for the banners here, because 59 is a bit unsavory out this way.
Probably Zuckus, you might guess.
Maybe. What about the rest of you guys? Tales of Django on offense. And I mean, Stranger was the first thing that comes to mind. I've also heard tell that folks tried this against Pirate King. I guess I can look that up real quick.
Yeah, it looked reasonably consistent.
Numbers on Django against Pirate King are really good.
Yeah. All right.
Django lead says no revive, so yeah.
So something like this, and we'll assume. No. Oh, that's an interesting. That's a new toggle.
I do find it interesting how many people I saw using Sam with this team.
Okay, we'll look at this. Tackle me's, at least that. And now let's see what we've got. A lot of 100% win rates, but what are we looking at if we want the best banners? Well, first of all, 84 battles, 64.3. What am I doing wrong? I must be doing something wrong.
This is Stranger, this isn't Stranger, this is Hondo.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just thinking about. Okay, well, yeah, some of these crowns are great.
Sorted, when I pulled up was Django, OG Mando, Forlom, and Zuckus is the core 4 against Pirate King Hondo in Division 1 in Kyber, and it was at 96%.
Wow, I mean, this looks like a complete dunk. So now this is the debut week of Cobb Vanth and the Constables. So we've got Django here that can be anti-PKH, potentially Cobb Vanth. Although, as Sasha pointed out on our related video that you guys may have seen recently here, the Relic Delta potential issue when you're taking on Pirate King with the Cobb Vanth team, probably going to be hurting a lot of people because not a lot of folks have sunk a lot of Relic equity into the Jawas and to Cup and Lobot. So, nevertheless, a lot of pressure on Pirate King on defense. Any other creative uses of Django on offense? All right.
Beats most things.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Django on defense, real quick. Did you guys do anything interesting?
Got me a
That
bunch of
was
holds.
bunch of holds. Literally one of my
Yeah.
top players for defense.
Stacking holds. Literally
It
stacking.
was amazing.
Let's see what you got.
And
Okay, nothing round 2. I'm looking at
I
yours
stuck
first,
on this
Stagger.
one.
Okay, yeah. So you had it on the bottom front. You offered the choice, and you did have Forlum Zuckuss as your last 2. They took in Great Mothers, full and proper, ate it like a Big Mac. Gungans was a no-go. Took out at last with the power of Slacker. So, okay.
Yeah, the power of SOK compels you.
Yeah, you tried Balin against your Django in round 1. That's good money. Cleaned it up with Reva. This is what I had heard is kind of the thing. Now, I see that your opponent lost their Inquisitor Barris. There might be some debate to be had about what composition of Inquisitors to run, but I did know that this was a way through.
Yeah, it's 8th or 5th. You need Barris there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Well, because of the Mando comes back and then one-shots you, and you're like, haha, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Yeah, it's recently I have had it be punishing to have Inquisitor Barris there because I needed Third Sister to come back after getting unexpectedly annihilated. And yeah, I would not recommend the experience. All right, let's go over to TJ.
Probably don't fight Treya then.
Okay.
So I would say, here's what's cool. Go to my round 1 with AME and look at the first team that it ate up.
Yeah, all right. Satele took it. Now, this is another one that I had heard, but you would have to be... Yeah, so they took the Satele Cron, so they didn't have the preload from the Bastila level 9. You very much may need that to be out ahead.
Bastila 9 wins very, very easily.
I think it's fun. I just like seeing that a Relic 10 went in and took a 52nd second dump.
Yeah, that's one of those. He sat there, jaw open, and then backed out like 30 seconds later, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. The unexpected Partagas hold. That's cool. So let's see what else happened here.
Round 3, I like the other one. It got some of the pieces, but killed off a Treya. Now,
yeah, Gungans died. That's a pretty... I know people thought about this. I had a couple people in Discord mulling over whether to do Gungans, and I thought it was bad just because of the sheer amount of turn meter and turns that gets taken on this. It doesn't seem difficult that these guys just clown car your generator, and that's it for you. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you get bonus. The reason why people thought was because they can't take like multiple turns in a row without you getting a bonus turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, the problem is your bonus turns don't do anything, and your generator's gone in 10 seconds.
Yeah. You get your interceding bonus turn every couple of turns, to which the bounty hunters say, "So what?"
Mm-hmm.
All right, gas wiped out, full gas, Treya. That's
like
nice.
The Treya. The Treya.
Now that's the 200%. That's no slouch Cron they took here. That's a dark side buffs up level 3, almost 200% defense, about 23% health, about 40% crit damage. And, they inflicted damage enough that they thought that this was the position to take and let it be a preload with nobody dead, but a few characters barely hanging on. Threw in Aphra after that, got nobody. And then Maz, actually. Everybody but OG Hondo dead, and OG Hondo took them out in the end after about 3 minutes. So that is a heavy toll, man. Nice. Anyone else wanted to state a notable Django thing? I guess that I'm surprised you guys had great results with it. I set it on defense just in round 2, and Mad Mage Nira just blew through it.
I want to comment. We're playing regular players. We're playing regular GAC where people are setting reasonable stuff. So you're playing against people where it's like it's okay to take a risk or do something else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not playing that game. And playing that game, because I was able to take J&K and it was like able to, because I had it available, and that's a dump, right? No turn meter game, no nothing. But that's overkill. And I was in that scenario where I could do it.
Sure.
There were other things I wanted to try, but I set heavier stuff, in my opinion, for whatever else. So when it's time to get to this fight here, because I put it top front, I didn't put it bottom front. I allowed you to use other things to get to that, and then whatever you had left, you're taking it against Django. People are going to underestimate it just because this week was the week of questions that we listened to, and I'll talk about it again. But that's where I really felt like the strength came from.
Sure. Somebody was trying to say something. There you go.
Yeah, I live in a world where people play their offense like they set a defense, but they didn't set a defense.
Fair. Okay, if there was nothing else to throw in on Django, ready to move to Cassian undercover. Now, I set Saw lead thinking that was going to be good because, of course, I still have my Luthen set up to, create a reasonably bruiserish, thick summon dude, but also with a crit damage set and a bit of offense tucked in beside. So best employed under Saw lead, and I was just wanting to lean into all that. So where was that? Yeah. He went in with JMK. So this is against Herbert. JMK undermanned. So he was pretty confident this was going to be a dunk. He dropped Snips out of the main team here, and 2.5 minutes later withdrew. It was no good. Followed by, let's see, C. Bane, 1 minute and 16 seconds later withdrew. By the way, the composition I set, and I won't claim to have come up with this. I think I saw somebody else set it, and I was like, you know what? I might give that a shot since I have a Relic 10 Cinta. But it was Saw lead, Cassian undercover, Clea, Luthen, Cinta. And of course, with the FDC. So yeah, C. Bane failed, and then Seer, Malicos Maul, Fulcrum Crew failed in just about a minute. Finally got it in the end with Riva Grand 7th, Inquisitor Barris, and 5th. And that, all that definitely put him in a terrible position for the rest of the board. So great performance with Cassian there. I want to say these guys ran it on offense, right?
It's another one of those teams where what doesn't it beat, and the answer is close to nothing.
Yeah, where did he employ that? I don't know. Did it somewhere and dropped. Anyway, what do you guys have to say about Cassian undercover this week? Defense, offense, what stood out to you?
Looking at the data, the solid lead one doesn't have a clean answer. So if you're fighting against me, don't set it. Otherwise, set it.
Yeah, JMK looked smooth, and this is with a full proper team. So Mad Mage Nero fought me in round 2 and would have shared some feedback on fighting me with Herbert. And, just under 4 minutes, he felt comfortable taking a Kron that had bulk, some defense, some more health and crit damage besides. Galactic Republic bonus turn, and Herbert thought he could improve on that and drop a character, and that was unexpected. That put him on the back foot for the rest of the match. So nice.
And if you look at the data on it, though, JMK is not like I don't know if all the data was in when I looked, but JMK was like 72% against Saw lead, something like
Interesting.
that. So it wasn't a huge. Maybe it was like 78, but like it was in the 70s. It wasn't a huge dunk.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I'll just check for this comp I left
the fifth. I left the 5th open.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to check for the comp that I set because I can't. So I will.
I had to tinker with the stuff because there wasn't enough data to actually dial things down.
Yeah, I believe that. I should probably uncheck the Cinta. But still. All right. Balin. Nice. Good to know that Balin was kind of a dunk for one person. That was with Dash and Han. Kind of like that. JMK, a few different compositions. We're talking GK. We're talking Mace. We're talking drop the tank and take JK instead. Interesting. And then kind of nothing. So Balin and JMK look like the only things tried that were successful. with just Cinta there. So let's drop that out now. What do we get? You get C. Bane, 33% win rate, so probably not the droid you're looking for. You've got Full Bore Slacker, 62.5 banners. More JMK related action. Stranger, if you're about it, and this is without using Lumi, so perhaps resource efficient for the season. This guy used Varys and Visa, 61 banners. Slacker Underman, and the rest of it is goose eggs. The rest of it is not worth mention. So Balin, JMK, one Bane with Sass. What did he take? Okay, he took a 4 old times cron, about 100% crit damage, a chunk of potency, some crit chance, some protection, really not much after the big chunk of crit damage. Dark side turn meter gain per buff gained. When dark side allies grant a buff to another ally. So I don't know. This was against what?
This is actually
this is against good relics.
You didn't have a tag here for that, but if you don't put Cal on your team, Bane on your stranger team, Bane is probably just gonna one shot everybody but Maul. So don't be doing that shit. If you're setting stranger.
Oh, okay. Fair.
We didn't have it as a bullet point. I just checked. So just because you brought it up. If you're setting stranger, set Cal. Otherwise, Bane's gonna.
That's good to know. Yeah, I mean, I want to say the Cal doesn't make a difference against Django, but against Bane, that would be a big up because some people were relying on that, and it's good to see that it can work. But yes, Cal's a bad.
Look at my round 3.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I clicked the button and everybody but Maul disappeared. I tried a couple things first. You gotta scroll down a bit, yeah. Nope. Oh, up. Right there.
Yeah, there it is. 34 seconds.
I was skeptical because your picture I was talking about it. I'm like, you know what? I'll try this because I was just dicking around with stuff.
Yeah.
After I was like, and then I just clicked the button and then I chuckled. I mean, it was a 34-second fight, no preload.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay, that is good to know. Well, that's kind of cool.
That would be my favorite fight.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one to mention. That's good to know, though, about setting Cal in there, because, yeah, that puts pressure on me using Seer against Pirate King. But this week, I could potentially try Cobb. I don't know. We'll see.
I rotated, what's her name? Barris to my Seer team. And then I'm doing a slightly I don't want to say suboptimal, but it married 5th and 8th to my Reva.
Sure. Very nice. Okay, let's see here. Next item. Did anybody have anything they wanted to mention about Cassian? I don't know if any of us tried Cassian on offense, but as I think Dagger mentioned earlier, it's killing just about anything that you want it to, as far as I've heard, but nothing from a top matchup. I think all the top players I know were putting it on defense in some form or fashion, whether that was Cassian lead or Saw lead. All right, no one's disagreeing with that thought. So, going once, going twice, on to Afra. So, first of all, Afra versus Jabba. Yeah, I want to say the few times I've seen it, I want to say one time I've done it. It was a dunk, man. You take the core 4 plus B2. Loved it. I did it once with a great cron and once with a mediocre cron. Really smooth. Really smooth. What say you guys? Afra versus Jabba.
It's irrelevant now because Cobb is there too, but I loved it. I was doing that from round 1, trying it out, and I didn't see one I needed. There's potency on the data sets, and there's a separatist one that prevents, that stops the days if anything's going to stop your B2. So your B2 basically gets free reign to stay alive and go. Mm-hmm. I never once felt like anything. That potency on it felt great. And I just took some crit damage to make sure that Vila got to do his thing too.
Fair.
Or BT1.
Fair. Very good. No other comments on fighting Jabba, because I know that Dagger had a note here, wanted to talk about using Afra versus Lord Vader.
That was just a blurb where I saw in the data that it was able to beat Lord Vader a couple of times. I haven't tried this in months. I did it we had like a droid cron. I don't know, might be a year ago now that I was able to do it with like a droid cron.
Yeah, this feels like it isn't the first time we've done this, but it does feel like it's been a while. I was thinking that.
And when I was just poking around Lord Vader, because I was trying to figure out how to utilize Lord Vader since I timed out against Stranger, and I'm like, all right, well, you have to go on defense now because I have no plans for you on offense. It's like, okay, how do I go about situating you on defense? So I was looking at some of its predators, and Afro was like, when I looked at the data, it was like 2 for 3, and the one loss was like just a dog shit cron on the Afro team.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much life is in that, but I wanted to just kind of mention it to see if anybody else had heard anything.
Cricket. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you mentioning, though. It is good to know that it is possible with the current datacrons. So good to know.
Yeah.
Maz, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I just said I figured we'd be spending a good portion of time talking about Lord Vader between myself and Fable. So
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the next item here. While we were on, Lord Vader was talking about BKM. That was a note here from Fatal. What do you want to say about this one?
Just it seems fine, but you have to be, as long as they're running AmpAg, it was thrown off a little bit, like BAM triggering early. So yeah, just tidied up for week 2. Extra defense, extra protection. Mine had definitely gotten lazier as BKM has been off LV duty for a while. A lot of this week 2 setup was mainly just like, clean up teams, get them back to normal standard. Like my Great Mothers were out of whack because of Dark Side Turn Meter. I cut mods out of them. My BKM was lazier. Yeah, just tidied up, but that still works perfectly fine.
Yeah, you beat me to the punch in that I saw somebody do it with BKM, and that first crush out of Lord Vader when they had AmpAg, bad news. It wasn't even like it had a crazy amount of crit damage or anything on the Kron. It's just that level 3 sucks for that counter. So yeah, high defense, a bizarre amount of protection, and that's one of the reasons why. Only for Lord Vader, it's probably something. It's one of the reasons why, for a long time, I had a protection circle on BAM. Now it's health, which is probably tough for this, against that Kron for this season. But something I have to think about. Okay, next here for Lord Vader is Maz. Now, whose item was Maz?
that was mine.
Yeah, let's hear that.
So I tried it, and I just kind of went, and to be clear, this is with no SME. This is like Hondo, Ithano, Kix, Squiggled. So not a whole lot of damage on the team. And I kind of just played the fight, not necessarily normally, but I might have slow played a little bit the first time I did it, and I timed out. And I knew immediately I knew immediately, I don't know, a minute and a half in, I'm like, this is going to be a timeout, just because I knew I was going to have to churn through Scorch. And I ended up remodding my Scorch to give him more armor and protection, just to protect against this. But then I figured out kind of I don't want to say strategy, because that makes it sound like I did something profound. But I just decided the second time I did the fight to move a little bit faster and just skullfuck Scorch out of the gate. And I won with not an uncomfortable amount of time left on the clock, but it was cutting it kind of close. So I did tweak a little bit of damage on my Hondo, and I might try to free up Smee just to give me a little more damage. But once Scorch goes down, it's just such a really easy fight once Scorch goes down. It's just getting Scorch down off the rip. But I do think Maz is really good, because I think I got 60. One of them I think I lost an Order 66 character, so I didn't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just me playing a little faster than I needed to.
Sure. Yeah, you had this
Well,
57 here. You lost Kicks and Quiggle, but you did take him down about 4.5 minutes.
yeah, I was moving a little more. I was moving very expeditiously and not worrying about healing that round. That's the one where I'm like, all right, I'm going to go all in on Scourge. So I guess what I'm saying is, it's stuff like if you that one where I lost, where I timed out, is probably closer to what the fight would look like if I had played the second fight like that, but moved faster, right? Because the fight actually played out almost the same. I just focused. I used basic from Kicks just for damage push as opposed to trying to heal. If that makes sense.
It
So I just
does.
did AoE and basic, and it was just all damage push. So I think if I going into this next week, I think it's going to look more like this, but not timing out.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other comments from you guys using Maz versus Lord Vader? All right. About fighting DVDE. Now, definitely Balin, Shin, Marok, Han, and then you could have a lot of options for that fifth. I use Kira, but there's a few different ways to get your 64. Han ends up just losing a little bit of protection, inevitably. I know that some people for week 2 are thinking about dropping Lord Vader in there as a tech to complicate Balin. So we'll see what that brings for the future of it. However, I see that Fatal's mentioned Bad Batch 2 versus DVD. What do you got to say about that one?
Well, I tried Bad Batch 2, and it was a lot messier than W3. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would actually be fine if you just 3v5. Because you were getting looped pretty hard being in, 5v5, Mara's getting 5 hits of debuffs worth, and EP is looping more. I mean, if you just Underman, they lose a lot of TM train, and then you just go about your business the same way that you do with 3v3. I don't know. That's unproven. But, and then, frankly, DBD is like 3rd or 4th on the priority list of stuff I want to do with BB2 this season, just for testing fun, but I would not be shocked if that were true. I mean, of course, like, your record still has to be, like, stupidly good. Even more so than W3, because he's taking more heat. But, yeah, I bet that shit works.
Fair. Very fair. You also had a note here for Bad Batch 2 versus Pirate King, and I see I got it on screen. You had a successful run here in round 3, just over 4 minutes. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I did it in 2 rounds.
Nice.
No, just people were asking me if that was going to be back on the menu, and yeah, it's pretty clean right now. I did one fight against like a 350% defense Hondo. One was like a
380.
almost 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should feel fun. I mean, again, as with Bad Batch 2, like, we are very much talking about the quality of your record. Like, for example, with the crown that I ran right now, and then I get my record just like literally the most survivable mods that I had possible. My record never actually died.
Nice.
So that doesn't normally happen, but
yeah, never got put in chains, you mean?
Yep.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay. That's partially a function of the enemy datacron choice also being on defense, but like, yeah, right. That is just the tightrope act. The more security you have on your end, the easier it is to just focus on doing what you're doing.
Fair. Let's see. Let's talk about Ray now. You have a note here about Ray Zalbar to check in, and then about Balin versus Ray. Take it away.
Yeah, no, Ray has gone through a lot of permutations, and I'm not necessarily saying that Zalbar 9 is like capital G good, but it is at the very least better than I think Ray has done in years. Right? It's now, ironically, I actually think Zalbar 9 is probably pretty easy for classic EP Mara Starkiller to get through, because Zalbar is immune to buff immunity. Zalbar is not immune to shock. So I think you would just play that like a normal EP Mara Starkiller. That would not be an issue. But for like the current landscape right now and like certain counters, he can kind of just be a brick wall and sit there and I plopped Cal Barris behind him and was getting holds against like Seer Malikos type affairs. Yeah, I don't know. I just figured I would give it a shout out as like depending on what your opponent wants to use and how you think to build it. Like Zalbar 9 is like Zalbar 9 is like Ray just needs that to exist permanently. Like that needs to not go away, and that's like that doesn't get her there. She's still not good, but that's like a good solid building block foundation to work with. You are on mute.
So, all right. So that's your note there on defense. What about Balin here against Ray?
Yeah, I've been waiting like half a year to. I before S25 came along, I had been wanting to work on Balin versus Ray in a non-polarized crown setting. It was CG always had that anti-inspired clause, but the data back then was just like it just didn't look like it worked. And so now that Balin Kron is gone, I finally got to test it. It does seem viable. I did get stuck on Zalbar 9 once for reasons aforementioned. I don't really play Balin that often, so I kind of just forgot that you can ignore taunt with Jhin. So, I don't know, maybe I could have used Shin to kill a Barris earlier and not just whacked on Zalbar the whole time. That's still a work in progress. Like, I took Kira to Relic 7 for this week to see. I think she might have some tools that could be relevant there, but yeah, no, functionally, it does seem like for the far future, the default state of the matchup does appear to be that, like, if you're built for it correctly, Balin does counter Ray. So, like, extra feather in his hat, not necessarily a thing to always be doing, but seems fine. Notably, I did have Pirate King Hondo, or not OG Hondo, which kind of helps keep Ben in handcuffs so he can't greet people as often. But everyone's stacked on health anyway, so like you're not necessarily in danger of getting killed. It's nice to not have the lock dealing immunity so you can try to get full banners.
Fair. I appreciate you sharing that. While we're on the subject of Ray, I use Satil, and this is with the Bastilacron, so full proper Satil Old Republic Jedi. And yeah, it was a manhandling there in round 3. Well qualified Ray, but yeah, we kind of cut through pretty quickly. I want to say I took out the Xeris first, and then I just took out Ray, I want to say. Ray then, down low, killed Ben, finished Ray off, yada, yada. But it felt in no way challenging. So I don't know if you guys had any experience or heard anything else with creative uses of Satil. But yeah, there against Ray, really like that. Obviously, if you didn't know this or at least suspect it going into week 1, you probably learned the hard way that Satil against Stranger with Luminarachron was a no-go. So finding other profitable uses for Satil on offense was definitely a priority. Nothing from you guys?
I did want to try it. I said I did want to try it with the Bastilacron, but I did want to try it once this week. And it did fail, but I did want to try it once, just to see. And I did I know whatever. Like I almost got Starkiller down, like he was in the red, and then he healed. And I was like, fuck. And then I ended up having to back out. But I think if I had had more offense on the team, I would have been able to at least get Starkiller out. And maybe I should have gone for Luminara because she was squishier. And then they get their prod back. And I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to try it again, but I think there is like a very small something there with the Bastilacron if you have actual offense on your team.
Okay. I appreciate that. Any other notes in this vein, guys? All right. Next item here, I want to say this last one from me was Great Mothers. So I encountered here from Herbert. Let me see if I can't show you guys. He set a Great Mothers team. Oh, no, this was round 2. That's where I learned this, and it lost me a few banners. Where are you?
It was at the top.
I'm sorry. I'm blind. Yeah, no, using Great Mothers, fighting Great Mothers here with Asajj in there. This is the Asajj level 9. This is the target lock, so she will get stacking critical damage and max health to whatever degree that matters. And did not have the turn meter level 3. This is the recovery, 2% health and protection recovery. So probably deliberate that that's there. I would have expected turn meter otherwise. Regardless, I went in with Riva, and you're typically fighting with torture first. I was thinking if I torture first, Asajj is going to get a bonus turn and use Dispel. So why don't I start off with AoE? Okay, that's fine. That worked. And then I came around and did my torture, and then, she got out of her ability block and then dispelled it anyway. And, kind of exploded Riva after that, kind of easily. This is a Relic 7, not particularly aggressively built, but the damage granted from this level 9 exploded Riva. She was not able to revive because she was doomed. She was doomed, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't even bring Inquisitor Barris there.
Can I counter you, Task? Can you go to my round 1? Just against AME.
Yeah.
Same construct. Let's go with the same level 6. This one does have turn meter.
Okay.
So round 1, AME. Just go down to my attack. Find my Night Sister fight.
There it is, 64.
Look at there.
Yeah. So
when
what's
you put the advanced damage in? It's literally you're still going to torture, but with all the assisting attacks, depending on the build for Morgan, she's not going to live.
It's
the
just
amount of damage
you kill her, and then you can access Asajj immediately.
Guess where you go next? You go kill Asajj. That team is out.
Okay.
There's also no spirit. There's no spirit there, so the damage is significantly nerfed.
I want to say, did mine have that?
Yeah,
it did.
Didn't get to move.
It did.
So just to help the construct of the team, they never moved. Literally, Morgan did it, and then I just literally controlled the fight. Asajj was dead next. Then you're going to control mechanisms.
Inquisitor Barris is nice here, I will admit. It makes sense because you're not keeping Riva anyway.
That was the idea, but I just want to comment because I know people keep saying it, and the idea is to kill the Riva because I've watched it multiple times because this is where the Asajj mechanic is actually working to your benefit. Continue to dispel, and your team just gets pummeled because you have nothing to protect you. Well, if you torture in and you bring enough damage to the setup, Morgan's out. AV's not getting to do it, so the fight moves quick.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Appreciate that. Great note. Sorry, Fatal, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I would point out as well, I don't know how your Riva is built, but Riva, despite having the tank tag, does not have tank stats.
Mm-hmm.
So she's already playing from behind, and I know a lot of people seemingly went over to a damage Riva, and this could easily be a situation where you possibly got checked, especially because...
Could be.
At least for me, a lot of my green crons are like crit damage and defense.
I can't recall the last time I touched her mod. She's in an offense set. She's been in that forever then. Yeah, 70% armor.
Well, they ignore your armor. I'm saying how much health does she have?
Yeah, 116,000 health.
Yeah, it's just me just saying something to keep in mind. Like, I don't know if I don't remember if the green Datacrons even have health in set, but like, yeah, that's more or less what she's up against there.
Fair. No, I appreciate that. So let me ask you, if you can recall off the top of your head, is your Riva just in full defense for health primaries? What are you doing?
Oh, my Inquisitors are very, like, ramshackle. Most of mine are still, like, R7, R8.
Sure, but as far as, like, a modding archetype on Riva specifically?
Couldn't tell you. I haven't touched their mods in years.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I had to go check myself. I know the feeling. Guys,
it looks like she is 3 defense and 4 protection primary.
4 prot. So do you think, I know some people have done prot in the long history here with Riva, but I've always been more health oriented, and I feel that since Great Mothers came out, that's been the general posture. How do you feel about that?
I just have more protection. My health supply is already extremely strained with the last few team releases.
Okay, so you would if you could, but you can't, so you won't.
In high utils, I probably just have it set to be either or.
Very good. I can accept that. Yeah, I think a lot of people will do the same. All right, guys, thank you so much. We had a lot to cover topic-wise. We've bullied through that whole list. Did you have any other teams that you wanted to cover? Anybody at all? Somebody that we didn't otherwise think of? Maybe you thought we won't get the chance to cover anything else. This is your moment. Cricket. I've got one that just jumps to mind. On offense in round 3, no, it was round 2 again. I already know that the match was lost, and I open up this back ball, and it's interesting. Leviathan's there. I expected that, but endurance is common. Negotiator side by side with it is less common to see, and no home one, no anything else tougher. So I had, what was it? I had home one, Executrix, and I want to say Executor on defense. So I had Leviathan, Profundity, and then something. It could have been Malevolence. It could have been Endurance. It could have been Negotiator. But I saw some data for Endurance versus Negotiator, and I don't know how often I'll get to do this. Really like this fight. And don't let the damaged Anakin fool you. That was me pridefully bringing out Plo Koon as my second reinforcement, and instead of putting up taunt on the Y-Wing, which had recently been dispelled, I did the turn meter boost and did some aggressive stuff, and then they almost killed Anakin, and then I healed Anakin substantially with Marauder. But, we killed the team too quickly to use that maybe one more time to top off. So had I taunted in the first place, pretty sure I would have been in a stronger spot. Nevertheless, really rare to use Endurance on offense these days, and I thought that was cool. That's a neat little break glass. All right, back to the floor. Going once.
I'll give one I liked. And I learned kind of the hard way because of the amount of turns right now for the Inquisitor.
Please.
Round 3. Where I think it's my Bane against their Inquisitor setup.
Yeah,
right at the top. And so it was cool, man. Watching the amount of turns that got taken, I really needed to increase the cron. Don't quote it like, oh, it beats Bane. But it was the amount of turns they took pushed the damage so high on my Bane that it was great to see. What's nice is that this SIP bonus turn, level 6 on my Treya setup, you didn't need Malik. I wanted to make sure I overkilled it, but that SIP bonus turn interrupting the amount of turns they're taking is phenomenal. So I just want to comment that
so
Treya...
smart. That's so smart because I've seen other people rot their way through. This is a smart approach.
What I'm saying. So I just want to comment on this one specifically. Favorite fight of the week because of the bonus turns right now. Don't discount your Sith. Treya is definitely on the market to fuck up Treya right now, or Riva, with those a million turns they want to take. It was a great team.
Yeah.
Ate my Bane up, and I'm sure Bane would have been okay with the bonus turn, but Treya on this, I could have pulled it back. Didn't need Malik. Could have definitely put something less in there, or even possibly done a 4-man because of the interruption. You just take that team, they're pummeled out dead, and there's nothing they can do about it. Felt really good.
Fair. I appreciate that. That's a great one. I heard that if you're going to do Bane, I think I did Bane C because I saw good data on it from last season. But just looking here from just week 1, plenty of successful Banes using Set, right? And that's just giving you the moment of taunt so that Set eats torture. And that's kind of, that's your ticket.
It's respectful to do. Like I said, to me, I disrespected the team because the cron should have been better. And honestly, it probably should have been a Sith cron. But just the idea of the bonus term really has a lot of impact.
Yeah.
But Treya feeling so controlled here, I literally... I looked at it, I was mad that I took Malik at that point because of how well my team was controlling theirs, because you get in front, they're going to try to go after your Treya. Treya gets to go and put lock down Riva, so there's no more taunt, and now you're just picking apart the team. And I had them locked out, and it was just pummeling it down. I got to probably beat it 30 seconds faster if I really tried.
Yeah, and it didn't even take you a minute and a half. So nice.
No, and I finally can improve it. So yep, just a call up.
Okay, back to the floor. Any other notable fights you guys wanted to highlight? Going once, going twice, sold, and we're back around to takeaways and final thoughts. Guys, despite only having 2 real rounds, I learned some good things in round 2, despite just not feeling well at all. I still learned good things and got humbled on a couple things I thought were going to work better. And then it came together with a strong round 3. I changed a whole bunch of things and had great results. Yeah, I guess the other thing to mention, I wanted to highlight it earlier, just my overall defensive performance here versus Herbert. This is something to take away, is that I was able to set what I'm about to show and still have everything needed to, full clear. And, if I was a little less adventurous, probably for significantly better banners even. But yeah, I had, Pirate King, Stranger, Jabba, the Saw, lead with Cassian Undercover, had my Riva down, and I don't know what the idea is behind this personally. This is some witchcraft, trying Satil, even especially Underman, but just on an at-all basis, bold move, and it did not work. It was like a minute, and he withdrew. Let's see. He eventually, he got to the back, saw Leia, dropped with Balin there. Slacker was clean with JML. Now, this one I thought was cool. He pulled this off. You can see he's got the bulk level 3. He's got the prot stat, only 36%. And that's really all that's boosting JML's coin damage. So not all that great of a cron, but JML, Jedi Cal, JKL, Hoda, and Old Ben was clean here in literally 5 minutes. Like, he got it with a half second on the clock, something like that. Tried the sortie thing. Yeah, sortie with C3PO, T3, BB-8, and L3 with his sortie cron. And yeah, got Drogon and Chupio out, but otherwise got manhandled. This is neat. I know a lot of people like using Finzori. You have to have a well set up team. You've got to know the kits. You've got to be disciplined in the approach to the fight. And so I expect that some opponents were going to do it. I just tried to make this team its biggest, nastiest self that it's ever been going into this season. You can even see the Relic 10 Hu Yang lurking there. And I don't know exactly what part of this shut him down, but yeah, shit ain't work. I hope that the crit avoidance was a large part of the problem, because that team does rely on landing crits to move itself along. But just over 3 minutes, he had to withdraw. My DVD team, Maz ate it. Glad to see that. Yeah, I set Ray, Swallow, Zal, Zaris, and GK, and he tried this. This was just a cooldown pull, and then just cleaned it with gas. All right, never mind. That wasn't so great. But as you can see, though, pretty robust defense. And then I had everything I needed offensively. Yeah, fighting Afra, this was a completely unnecessary drop. I just saw some interesting data. I decided to try it. I already had reserved as plan A to go with Queen. There was no reason to not do this. So I could have, but I wanted to try, and yeah, that did not work. So use my knowledge, I beg of you. Learn from my mistakes. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, just that one round. Looking into week 2 now, I am with 6 Erodiums and Herbert. So at some point this week, I will be bringing you a rematch versus Herbert. Round 1, I do have an Erodium, so I'll see what I can do about finding a substitute, a guest match to bring you guys. Otherwise, I'm just heartened by how good of a defense I was able to set, although I think that Jabba on defense is dead. I think Pirate King is still worth keeping down because I can still pressure that. And also, as I mentioned earlier, Sasha highlighted that Relic Delta will be a serious concern for a lot of people attempting Cobb versus, your Pirate King team. So I think that's all giving me encouragement, and we'll see what happens. Cobb being another offensive team is something that I don't necessarily feel I need, but it is interesting to have another team that puts pressure on Galactic Legend defensive stalwarts. So we'll see. We'll see. How about you, Dagger? What do you got to say? Oh, Dagger had to jump ship. Nighty night for Dagger. It's late for him. He's over in Europe right now. All right, let's go over to TJ. Takeaways and final thoughts from you, sir. What do you got to say?
Yeah, I think for this last week, I think I understood the assignment. I listened to a lot of the people in the game, content creators. I listened to Fatal as one of the other ones too. I think a lot of people just didn't know what was going to happen, and I tried to really exploit that. The questions were going to come out that were going to be good enough to create it, and that's where I think I was able to do well. Obviously, now we have data, so I'll be looking more to try to add different little nuances or things I can to mess up more mechanics if possible. I also just want to shout out to, we didn't get to look at it. A Ray team that had Krex on the team, and I think it's a nod to Fatal. And I kept talking to you about it too, Tass, when we were talking. I really liked the team. It actually got me a hold. And I think it was just a nod that Fatal brought it up and not even thinking putting it back. So those questions create round 2 for me. Yeah, it created great problems, and I watched it happen to Xerath. I watched it happen to Vex, and it's just those things. And listening to the content creators and seeing everything felt really good. My goal now is probably more super teams. So a lot of the Cassians, a lot of do you understand the kit and are you ready for what's going to happen? Do think Jabba is dead, so I agree. But I'm looking forward to continue to push the strength of can I make you uncomfortable? Because I feel like there is some room to say you don't have enough of the same counter to take this out. And I think that's going to carry me through to hopefully push me right back to the top again.
Fantastic, man. Best of luck to you here this week. Over to you, Sasha Aisha. So, you had no real matches last week. Hopefully you picked up some things in our conversation tonight. How are you feeling going in to week 2?
I understimulated. I'm looking forward to hopefully I'll have one match this week. So that'll be fun, but it'll be against a familiar opponent, Nira. And I do tend to like these Conquest release weeks because even though they come after the first week and a little bit of the fog of war has faded and people have some .tg data, the Conquest unit tends to shake up a bit. I don't know that we'll get the same level here because this is not as we've talked about, a defense-oriented Conquest squad that's coming in, but I'm still curious to see it. And so I'm excited for that. And it does sound like, and just, watching you guys and some other content creators and just chatting with people in the community, it felt like there was probably a disproportionate amount of holds, like defensive viability in that first week. I'm hoping some of that lingers to my first match in the second week, but I don't know. And then the last thing I'll just say is, I think we are on the verge of getting some news from CG. I don't know what about. It's been radio silent, or at least not quite news we've been looking for a while. And I'm really curious to see what comes out. And I'm hungry for some either interesting PvP stuff or something positive in the game, because it's been a long period, sort of, I don't know, locked away in the utility closet or wherever I am, that I get to play with everybody else. So that's where I am. But I'll have fun watching your one real match. What was that?
Appreciate that. Yeah, and thank you for mentioning CG. Big shout out to CG and EA. This thread is almost 2 weeks old, and this is the second thread I've made looking for support about that dead week 3 I had last season. So as of now, the status of the issue is changed to confirmed, but still not even a first response yet. No actual words from anybody from CG or EA, not about what they thought the issue was, not about what they feel is appropriate compensation for me losing out a week worth of GAC rewards, not able to do Fleet Arena. Maybe they even think it's fair to throw a bone my way for having deliberately wailed for these new set Datacrons to use in that last week and not being able to do any of that. But yeah, all that's a pipe dream so far, guys, because I haven't even had the first word from him here. So wish me luck. If you guys find this thread here in the Swug of Bug Reports forum, give it a vote, give it a comment. Please help me get eyes onto it because, yeah, it's just going out to pasture here, man. All right, and of course, last but never least, over to you, Fatal, for your takeaways and final thoughts. What do you got to say now going into week 2?
It was a weird week 1 for me. I set out with some stuff that I thought was really, really interesting and was very excited to try out. I mean, so to be honest, before I even went into the season, I was increasingly feeling like I just had no good way to predict how cheesers were going to behave. And even going into the season knowing that, I mean, my defense results tell me that cheesers apparently feel that Satil or Stranger on defense is like a problem. So if they perceive it to be a problem, and my Stranger on defense did pretty well, I would have thought you would think that squads like Stranger would show up on defense. I don't know. I had all sorts of interesting stuff I wanted to try. I didn't get an opportunity to do any of it. It was just, I don't know, man. I'm looking at the shape of things, and I feel like this would be an incredibly easy season to just hard counter. I didn't get rid of all of the special remodding that I had for certain teams just yet, because I would like to at least just try it once. I spent a fucking Relic 10 to probably lose to Stranger anyway. I would like to get one match of that R10, and then either it'll work or it'll get put out to pasture, and that'll be fine. But yeah, I'm still kind of holding out hope. Yeah, I think Cobb will be a fun thing to tinker with. Honestly, I'm kind of just waiting for this era to fast forward that we can get Rada out as well as Cobb, and I feel like that should be the time as well where I assume that training mode is coming with the next era. I assume that the squad arena, because we saw the data mine for the squad arena swap to be coming. I don't know. It's not coming with this update, I don't think, but like they basically had to do it at the drop of the era, right? One would think they can't just like 5 weeks into a era be like, hey, by the way, we're launching squad arena. I don't know if that would actually work that well. So, assuming that it's in a month, because otherwise it would be, 4 months? Yeah. We'll have Rada, we'll have training mode, we'll have a bit more on Cobb, and also, honestly, the reason why I'm waiting a month is because I'm so desperately behind on Relic materials that, like, my Cobb squad kind of sucks. I already gave up on hitting the era battle for the New Republic crew. 6 R9s plus R10 Rada is just not going to be happening for me if I wanted to do Cobb stuff at all. We'll see. I don't know. I think there will be fun to be had this season.
Good deal. Yeah, I have an incredible amount of pressure on my Relic materials as well, man. I am down to the bare bones. I really had to wring out the napkin to get the materials needed for Relic 10 Cobb Banth for the lock. Not that was mission critical. I could have lived without it, but it was like, can I? Maybe it's you could, but it's gonna cost you a lot of Kairos, and then it did. So I appreciate where you're coming from there with the resources thing. All right, well, appreciate you guys, and sorry, Dagger had to drop out before we could get his comments. Would have been nice to get that, but sorry we missed you, Dagger. Have a safe trip, and we'll catch you back here for next week. For all of you,
He meant to say he hates your hat.
Yes, he does. Thank you, Sasha. It's really like he never left. So thank you. Well, and of course, to you guys, my co-hosts, thank you for making your time available here to record our show this week. Wonderful episode. And to all of you listening and watching, if you want to catch me here this week, the place to do it is twitch.tv/Tassenix and my YouTube channel. I simulcast from both. So that's Tassenix Gaming over there on YouTube. Anything that you want to see over there on the YouTube channel, I have a ton of stuff on, how to mod guides on characters, all my previous JC VODs with chapters added, anything you enjoy over there. Give it a like, hit subscribe to the channel to see more. And follow me on Twitch, all that good stuff. It's still growing the channel. Really appreciate you guys. Still, helping me carry this thing forward. Really. Of course, if you want to go above and beyond the Call of Duty to support the stream, there are a couple ways to do so. First, I do have a Cash App. That is $Tassenix. I do have a PayPal. That is tassenix@gmail.com. And if you're interested in getting some enhanced Grand Arena scouting power for yourself, early access to my content, including plotting and scheming, and a few other benefits besides, you may be interested in becoming a patron. Check out patreon.com/Tassenix. For any, aspiring Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. I've recently had a few patrons get with me for GAC and mod coaching, and though you don't have to be a patron to get that, you do get an added discount for it. And they've really enjoyed the experience so far, wanted me to make mention of it here because I don't otherwise mention it anywhere else. So appreciate you guys. Thank you, and glad you're enjoying the coaching. And if you're interested, inquire. Otherwise, you can enter the Tass House for as little as $5 a month at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show that is coming out to our general audience Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern. Patrons have it as early as Monday or Tuesday night, depending on when we sit down to record, giving you early insight going into that first round of the week. I will occasionally make patron exclusive videos that you'll have at least a month ahead of the general public. And of course, a dedicated text and voice chat on Discord where I am usually lurking, so pop on in and say hi. Thank you so much to all of my patrons here at VIP Access. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool that I highlight at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams. It's the one with the graphs that give you an easily understood sense of your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history, but only patrons can build out a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version of that report with embedded links, a whole bunch of extra functionality in there. When you click those links, it'll take you right back into swugga.gg or Insight with data pre-sorted, just helping you further minimize and focus your scouting efforts. Alternatively, you might go for Hot Utils, which is the #1 tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you move so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, and Raid loadouts. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do to comprehensively remod your roster with the powerful automation feature. You can help out your guild in TW, slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, and so much more. No wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you to all of my patrons subscribed here. At VIP Access Premium, that is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils all in one price. Going out and getting those two bots anywhere else costs the same as this triple bundle, which is why so many of my patrons say it's one of the best values in the game. Thank you so much to all of my patrons subscribed here at VIP Access Premium. I know you guys enjoy the double bots. At the top of the list for my top supporters in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper, a madman who pops in from time to time and just goes crazy, dropping hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies, carrying hype trains. He's done it all over the years. Thank you so much for the incredibly generous support. Likewise, to Pills, who will pop in, mostly towards the end of streams and just start handing out 10 gift subs there, 100 gift subs there. Incredibly generous support as well. Thank you, Pills. Special thanks first up to the Lost Swamp Rat, a patron of mine who is a helpful face to so many of us here in the Swugga streaming community. He puts in a lot of time and attention with us all, helping us with our various technical issues. And really just appreciate the time and attention, Womp Rat. Thanks as always. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether that's bringing me something to eat or drink while I'm live on stream, or just, stopping our daughter from tearing the house apart while I'm trying to be the very best like no one ever was at a phone game. I appreciate you. And, of course, to my co-hosts here on Plotting and Scheming, Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, as always, it is my pleasure and privilege to record our show. This week was no exception. I was able to learn a good few things, and I know you guys often feel the same, and I appreciate that. Of course, it's not about us. It is about the audience tuning in for the show, and they're letting us know we're making a difference on their GAC game, guys. It is rare that a day goes by that I don't get a comment, a DM on Discord, something thanking us for the conversations we have here on this show, because people pick up that actionable intelligence that they're looking for. They can apply it in their rounds, and it's helping them win the day. So thank you guys. 3+ years on being my co-host here on the show. I would not change a thing. All right, we have made it all the way back around. And it's going to be a fun week. I'll only have one real round. I'll do my best to bring you guys some guest matches. We'll see what we can do. And I'll live vicariously otherwise. So until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.